one. And then he was like digging in there, having the worst time, just could not get this one like 2 millimeter root out because it was all twisted up.
Yeah, that's like, depending on how twisty they are, you could be a candidate for never having them removed, because it's like, okay, here's the thing. If we do it, there's no way we can avoid your nerves.
Ugh.
Yeah. And so like you could just have like a numb face for like forevermore.
Yeah, see, the reason I jumped into doing this emergency extraction is because I was in such utter pain because the tooth is right on the nerve. So it was just like pain radiating from, it was like a migraine on one side of my face that it was.
Can't have that.
No, it was, have you ever had a cluster headache?
I think maybe. I've been pretty lucky not to have like bad headaches like that as some sort of chronic thing, but I have had maybe migraine or maybe cluster, but it's not been an ongoing thing in my life.
Cluster headaches are nicknamed suicide headaches because they are so painful. I got them on a regular basis when I was working in a salon, rinsing out relaxers as my job. And it just came out like last year that relaxers totally fuck up your brain and like your nerves and shit, and you should not be yeah. And everyone thought I was lying. I was just trying to get out of work. I'm like, no, I won't be in because I feel like I'm going to die. And that's what it felt like. It felt like I had a cluster headache on the side of my face.
So I have a similar story. When I was 18 or 19, I worked in a factory, and I kept getting, I thought, conjunctivitis. And it was like my eyes, it was like way worse than regular conjunctivitis, and it kept getting worse over the course of time. So like I would go to work, and by like Thursday or Friday, my eyes would be like super swollen. Like the whites of my eyes were like swelling around my eyeball, like my eyes. And I would be like, okay, so I got to take Friday off, and like, I'm so sorry, I won't be in. And then I'd have like a long weekend to get better. I'd be like, okay, I think I'm better. And then I'd go back to work, and like the cycle would repeat, and each week it would get like worse until finally I was like, oh, wait a minute, I'm not getting conjunctivitis. I'm just like an idiot teenager who doesn't know that there's like a solvent in the air here.
Yeah.
That's fucking me up. And meanwhile, everyone in my life was like, oh, you're a fucking lazy sack of shit. Like, oh, I guess you're like allergic to work. Like, for real. Like,
yeah, no, for sure. I got the same thing.
Like every day somebody was saying something like that to me. And I mean, it's fucking 30 years later, and I'm still like, you bastards.
Yeah. Nah. It's ableist. That's what it is.
It is. I mean, to be fair to them, like, I thought it was
I am a
like,
lazy sack shit, so they're right, but still.
Yeah, I mean, so like, I might have been a teenager that wasn't super enthusiastic about my factory job.
Weird.
Yeah. But on top of that, like, I didn't have the powers of diagnosis for myself.
Yeah. What kind of factory was it? What were the solvents?
I have no idea what the solvents were. Like, my job was to assemble, I'm sorry, not even assemble. I would put together kits of pieces that someone else would assemble to make a larger piece of
Oh God, I hate it so much.
And so, like, the machines that were being made there were primarily to print on CDs and DVDs. Like, it was like a super specialized printing machine.
Okay.
That was like the top of the line of that kind of thing. So
the factory printed on CDs or made the machines that printed?
It made the machines that did the printing and then sold them
that
to
sounds
whomever
fake.
around the world.
All right.
Yeah, that's like a whole industry that doesn't even need to exist for any reason now. I mean, like, to be fair, like their print technology had existed for other products before that, like bottles and whatever you print things on that are like physical objects.
Yeah.
That are specialized, and then they like hyper specialized in this one thing. At least while I was there. Super duper interesting, right? Nope.
Oh, are you done? Should we clap it in?
Yeah. Ow! Ow!
Ow, 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 ow!
What's up, guys? It's On Fire Tonight with Josh and Tressa.
I'm Tressa.
I'm Josh, and we are here to talk about Max Headroom. It's from the 80s, you guys. It's season 1, episode 3, and it's called Body Banks. And we're going to spoil everything, so if you want to watch it before we talk about it, now's your chance. Now you're back. Welcome back.
Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back. That's from Welcome Back, Kotter.
Oh, wow. I had no idea. It sounded so familiar, and I was like, what is that? Thanks, Josh.
Everything I know today, I learned from Welcome Back, Kotter.
Oh, that's sad. Yeah, so this episode's called Body Banks, I believe you said. I don't remember.
Yep. Body shots. Yeah, let's do some. Oh, I'm getting crazy at the beach party. There's a foam party here on the island. Let's do body shots.
Have you ever been to a foam party?
No, I haven't. And so I guess this is really a don't knock it till you try it scenario.
Thank you.
Do you want to tell the audience all about your foam party exploits and adventures?
I've never been to one. Sorry.
Should we throw a foam party?
Yes, absolutely. 100%. And then we'll light the foam on fire so it goes with the theme.
Oh my God. So it's like a...
So we'll be on fire tonight and we'll all die.
Oh, I don't know if I...
All right, forget the last part.
This sounds like a pretty wild party. Do foam parties still exist? I remember in the early 2000s watching shows like E-Wild On, which is like probably still my favorite show that's ever existed.
Sure. Yeah, I think they only existed at
in Ibiza.
Yeah. And what was that one place that Jerry Springer always went to?
Jerry Springer would go places?
He would have shows at this one location. It was like an all-inclusive swingers
like
club.
Hedonism?
Yeah, that's what it was. Hedonism 2.
Hedonism 2, the sequel.
Yeah, good times.
I was just listening to, fairly recently, Leslie Jones talk about going to, I don't know if it was Hedonism or another branded place that was like that.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, like, I can't wait to get there. It's going to be all these sexy people doing sexy things. And then it's just like, like old German tourists in thongs, which is like what you find anyway if you like aren't careful and you go just to a beachy place that like you might just find 99% naked Germans in thongs of like a senior age that you might be even less enthusiastic about than the regular ones.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to go anywhere tropical, that's pretty much par for the course.
It's the danger. So wait, what would Jerry Springer do with hedonism? He would have like a regular show where it's like, this guy is secretly dating 2 sisters and he's going to break it to them live on TV.
Okay, I could be wrong, but I think that he formatted it as like a game show type thing with past guests, and you'd be like, hey, you guys, let's do some crazy shit at this crazy place. And people would get mad and do stuff with each other. I don't know.
I love the like, it's been so many years since I've seen that show, but there was a real like joyful P.T. Barnum, like everyone's in on the fact that this isn't real aspect to that.
For sure. So stupid, but one of my favorite parts of that show was they had the most amazing stylist for the guests. Like, they all looked like garbage, and then they came out and their hair was perfect, and I was like, I appreciate that. Thank you.
You know, I knew a few people that like were on that show just to get like a free trip to Chicago.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
You and I know at least one person in common.
Yeah.
But I remember, so it's like this other dude who's also just as bad as that guy that we know in common, if that is possible. He was on a show where it's like the whole premise was like he was bi and having an affair with both members of a couple. All of this is made up.
Of course.
And they styled him to look like what they thought. He was basically like blackface for gay.
Yeah.
Kudos,
guys.
That's it. That's the whole story.
I mean, now I feel bad loving that stylist, but all right.
Also, I think that everybody went bananas throwing chairs at each other in like just like it wasn't even explained. Like he came out and immediately everyone was throwing chairs.
Then they had to go back and do a reshoot. All right, so this is why we're throwing chairs. That one guy that did the Jerry Springer show, I did an episode of Ricky Lake with.
Did you?
Oh
man, is there any way I can see that?
I have no idea. I haven't seen it since it was aired.
Okay.
So we start off in this encampment,
No, we start off with static.
We always start off with static. It doesn't need to be said, Josh.
I mean, it's a stylistic element.
Okay.
It's like we're in the world of Max Headroom. Like Max Headroom is inside the TV, and now so are we, kind of. I think it's important to mention that as foregrounding.
Okay.
Also, as always, it's 20 minutes into the future.
You know what? I've only seen that once. I miss it every fucking time.
It's there.
I believe you.
It's okay.
We're watching Carter on the TV doing a report about what is beneath my feet. And I know it's supposed to be some hard-hitting piece, but it's like it not explained at all. He's just like, no one has any idea. It was like...
I think he's like, what's buried here? Not just like, am I standing on stilts?
No, you're right.
Tune in at 11.
No, you're right. He's buried beneath. But he doesn't like... Does he have an inkling of what's going on? Is it bodies? Is it... No, he doesn't say until later, but... And we see a couple walking through the camp past these TVs because there's TVs everywhere because it's Max Headroom. And
by the way, the camp is where like it's sort of like where the unhoused might live.
Right.
But it's also what they refer broadly in the show to as the fringe.
Right. Did they just start doing that in this episode?
I think they did it in the previous episode too.
Okay. I noticed it in this episode at the end, and then I was like, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
But it's like, it's a wasteland. There are barrel fires just as a regular, like, that's...
Because it's 20 minutes in the future.
It's 20 minutes in the future. This is what life is like.
That's right. So this couple's walking through, and they are afraid they're being chased. They hide, and the woman's like, but we didn't do anything wrong. And then... What is his name? Broiger and Mahler show up and they're like, it doesn't matter if you did anything wrong. It's what you got, or you don't have to do anything as long as you're a perfect match. Which she is, I guess, because they fight and tackle her and get a weird
they take a flesh
saw?
Sample, right?
Yeah, but it's like a handheld table saw that they take it out with. It's gross and a disturbing scene. And she passes out.
It's like a mega biopsy.
Yeah. That's right.
It's like if somebody were just using a fucking handheld saw to carve out like an inch by inch square of you.
Yes.
And then they're like 86.2. That's good.
That's great, I guess. I'm assuming that's on a 100% average or scale. But, okay, but did they really need that tiny table saw? They've got to have knives, right? Just as effective. Scalpel?
Tressa, this is 20 minutes into the future. They have less advanced technology in many ways.
Than a scalpel. I get it.
Yeah, so those thugs are like, awesome, Dr. Mason will be pleased. She's just the thing.
So they pick her up and throw her in their van.
But they leave the guy.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
And then we cut to... Wait, real quick before we cut to the rich dudes.
Yeah.
Broiger and Mahler. Mahler is Rick Dukeman, who we've talked about. He's in the first episode. And
Wait, is it Broiger or Bruegel, like the artist? And isn't Mahler a composer?
Yeah, probably.
Unless it's like spelled like I'm gonna maul you.
Let me see.
Or I'm gonna take you to the mall and then I'm gonna maul you.
Yeah, he's gonna maul him at the mall. Mm-hmm. God damn it, where did I write it? Yeah, Bruegel, you're right. Mahler is spelled Mahler. Mahler.
Yeah, like isn't that a composer?
Probably.
I don't know things.
I know less.
Okay.
But I so dig his facial hair in this episode. It's so fucking fun.
Oh, wait, can I do a quick... I'm going to tell you a quick story from my life.
Please do.
About facial hair. So, years ago, I met this girl on a plane, and we decided we were going to hang out. So, we make plans, we get together. It's still like... It's like 4 p.m. The sun is shining. We meet in a bar. She sits down and I go order us some drinks. This is she's in like a booth seat with like, a little coat rack thing on the side, whatever. And the bar is almost empty because it's like the afternoon. There's a dude. So I have a mustache and goatee, but they're not connected. They're sort of like a little stylized, disconnected-y thing.
Sure.
And a guy next to me at the bar is like, hey, that's some pretty crazy facial hair you've got there. I was like, oh, yeah, it takes like a little extra time to do it. I don't even know. And he's like, I think it looks stupid. Or something like that. But here's the thing. I didn't realize what was happening, and I just took it as like a normal conversation. And I was like, oh, like, it's not for everybody. Like, I don't even know if I like it. And so he stared at me for like a long minute, and he was like, okay. And then he just walked away, and I got my drinks, and I sat down and like presented our drinks together, and we were like about to start a conversation when that like coat rack thing next to me,
yeah,
which is like 2 2x4s put together, snapped in half because the guy who'd just been talking to me chose someone else to fight and threw him completely like across the bar, snapping this giant piece of wood.
What?
Yeah.
That sounds fake as hell.
it fucking, and like every aspect of it, I was like, just like we were about to have like it's like fun to meet you on a plane conversation.
Oh my God.
And the only reason like I'm not crippled today is because like I didn't even understand that this guy was trying to start a fight with me.
Yeah.
I just took it as like, oh, we're having a conversation. Like he says a thing and I say a thing.
Thank you, friend. I will see you later. He's like, I don't even care if it was his exact words because now it is. He's like, your facial hair is stupid.
It's pretty close.
And you're like, thank you, friend. I agree.
It wasn't even like I agree. I was like, yeah, I think that your reading is valid. It was something like that.
Excuse me, stranger. Could you maybe dress me down a bit? I'm feeling too good about myself.
It's not even like I said, like, I suck. I was just like, yeah, maybe you're right. Like, it's not that great.
Man, that is so Josh.
Or like, who cares?
In the grand scheme of things, meh. So the whole point being, his facial hair was so great.
Uh-huh.
It was like all radiating from his nose, because it was all just like, it was fun. And then I had to look up Bruegel's IMDb because I know we already talked about this, but I was like, I need to fucking know where I know this guy's face. And it's because he was part of the cast of Dear John. That's how I know him.
Oh, I don't think I ever saw that show. That was early HBO?
No, that was like network TV, but it was just a regular boring sitcom with Judd Hirsch. But
Judd Hirsch? Boring?
In Dear John, yeah. But he's been in everything. But he's been the most in Dear John. Like, I think it was in West Wing or whatever. I don't know. Anyway.
He was in West Wing, too?
I don't know. He was in some show like that reminds me of West Wing, if it wasn't West Wing. I don't know.
Why was there never a crossover West Wing and Wings called West Wings?
Why the fuck, Josh? Right? We need to write it.
The president of the airport.
This small-ass airport where you have to walk on the tarmac to get on your dumbass little plane.
But it's all walk and talks like every Sorkin show.
On the tarmac to the plane. All right, so now we go to the rich dude's house, and he's like, he needs the max headroom tech for a reason. I don't remember if it's explained or if I just wrote down he just needs it.
All right, so what's clear from this scene is that someone is dying, but they want to keep her mind alive.
Right.
And they think that the max headroom technology is the key. And the rich guy is like, I'm going to get this to happen, or I'm going to ruin Chevio. Chevio is the good guy CEO of Network 23 who took over when Charles Rocket's character did whatever he did.
Got murdered by technology or whatever.
No.
You keep saying Chevio, but they say Cheviot in the show.
Is it Cheviot?
Yeah, I think that you're right, but they say Cheviot in the show.
Well, it's a British thing, and like British people often anglicize French words in that way. Like Americans do it to everything, and it's also called anglicizing. But so, like, for example, there's a city in California that is spelled like San Rafael, but it's pronounced San Rafael.
Oh.
So.
What a bunch of assholes.
Right. But I mean, like, like, do you say patio or do you say, like, patio?
I mean, we all know I say patio, Josh.
I don't think patio is even a real thing. I'm just saying. Like,
or chandelier instead of chandelier.
Right. Would you say that someone has a rapier wit or a rapier wit?
I don't like either. What do you think about that?
All right. You're the boss. My facial hair sucks.
It is stupid. So we go back to the camp, and the guy that got left behind by Bruegel and Mahler, he's like crawling like along the ground. He got his ass beat, and he stops at a TV, and he sees Carter doing a hard-hitting report on something. I think he's talking about what's buried beneath his feet.
I think it's buried radiation under the city.
Ooh, that reminds me. Oh, yeah, Carter's report. Tons of terrifyingly lethal materials put there by previous generations.
Whoopsie doodle. That was sometime before 20 minutes into the future.
It was like 10 minutes in the future.
10 minutes into the past.
So, okay, that reminds me. I got to tell you a story.
Yeah.
So when in the 80s, my dad...
God. Barf me to the max.
I know, we haven't thought about the 80s in forever. My grandfather owned a battery company factory thing.
A battery company?
Yeah.
What?
They manufactured batteries for medical machines and stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
He's kind of rich, but he got in trouble with the, what is it, the EPA, the
Environmental Protection Agency?
Yeah, that's the one.
Uh-huh.
Because he was just burying all this toxic shit.
Yeah.
And I just remember my mom getting like pissed off at the EPA, and then I'm like, what's the problem? And she told me, and I was like, he sounds like he's in the wrong. This is in Iowa. Like, he's burying this next to crops. Why are you mad? Like, what? Anyway, that's what it reminded me of.
Yeah, well, so whatever happened with that?
I don't know.
Probably nothing.
Yeah, I was a kid. I was just like, you're dumb and I'm smart. Next.
Man, I used to play in the woods, and like the streams would have like pearlescent colors running through them, which as a kid I was like, ooh, pretty. Let's play in that.
Yeah, for sure.
So probably that's why I have leprosy now.
And stupid facial hair.
My facial hair sucks. Do you know the rapper Lil Dicky?
No, I do not.
He has a song called My Dick Sucks. He also has a show on Hulu called Dave. It's funny. So he's a funny rapper.
I'll have to check that out.
Okay.
All right, next scene we go to Zigzag guy calls Cheviot.
Yeah.
And ratings are down, and they want Max. They want to be the sponsor for Max Headroom's show. They want a full like promo thing. Max Headroom. They
want Max Headroom to be their presenter
because everybody loves Max Headroom.
Yeah, Max Headroom is this fucking thunderbolt out of nowhere. It's a fucking meteor from the fucking the cosmos, telling it like it is.
That's right.
All eyes are glued on Max Headroom.
That's right. And so they're like, let's make this happen. And Bryce was like, or somebody's like, nah, that's not going to happen. Max is his own thing. He's very uncooperative.
Right. So Bryce, the boy genius, who's like, all science hinges on this 13-year-old kid.
Yeah.
He's like, listen, Max is like, he's uncooperative. He's his own person.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's too bad because Zigzag wants him today, right now. He's like, okay, that's impossible, but wait, hold on. Wait. No, I'll get to it. Anyway. We get to the newsroom, and Jeffrey Murray is so excited. What a great story, Carter! And he's walking in, everyone's like, oh, you're the best, Carter.
Right, gives a big hug to Theora.
And a kiss, which, no thank you. Are they a couple now, or are they like weird co-workers? Because I don't like that.
Oh, I meant, doesn't Murray give Theora a hug?
Yeah, but when I'm sorry, you're right, but when Carter
which I think is just sort of a friendly, we did it, we're cool hug.
Right,
but then Carter, I don't know. I feel like they're both kind of vibing together.
Sure.
I think it's been suggested that they're vibing.
Yeah, but it's not been like, I figure with this kind of show, they've been like, ooh, look at how much they love each other. But it's just like, hey, we're going to like touch each other a little bit more than appropriate for coworkers. So they're probably a couple. And that's weird to me.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think, this show, although it takes place 20 minutes into the future, it was actually shot at a time when maybe they didn't have the policies for HR that they have today at giant corporations, where touchy-feely was understood to be a bad thing.
So this is shot in like the 60s or something?
No, this was shot in the 80s. The 1980s. The bars
wrong.
me to the max. Bury your batteries in the backyard by the crops.
That's right.
80s.
That's right.
Anyway, Cheviot wants a follow-up piece on that amazing reportage.
Everyone's so excited. It was such a great story. Max gives Bryce a memory. He says it's his
Carter's first kiss.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And
which means that Carter had his eyes open the entire time, which is weird. And Max keeps asking everybody about this fuzzy memory. Fuzzy memory hole. Mm-hmm. Fuzzy hole memory. He's got a thing where he can't remember.
Yeah, he's like, there's this fuzzy thing, I can't remember it. And they don't have an answer for it. And then we cut to Carter still celebrating the amazing thing. It's like, hey, everybody, let's go to the wine truck.
Which I missed that.
I fucking love that. I don't know. Like, why aren't there wine trucks?
There should be wine trucks. There are food trucks. There are COVID test trucks where you live.
That's true. Yeah, they have that in New York City.
That's right. And this is like 20 minutes in the future, New York City probably, or metro area.
Oh, you know what?
What?
Well, no, I don't know if this is supposed to be New York. I feel like this is supposed to be like, what's it like in Judge Dredd? It's like Mega City 1.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
Where it stretches from like the top of Maine to DC is like one mega city or something.
Oh, that's gross. I hate it.
Yeah. That's the nightmare future that they envisioned for us back once upon a time. That's like, early cyberpunk dreams.
For sure. Okay, but right here.
But yeah, but the real question is, why don't we have a wine truck?
Thank you.
It would save on costly brick and mortar.
Thank you.
We don't need to use up brick and mortar.
No, because there's so much of it that's already empty.
Yeah, you don't even have to have the engine running. Just park it.
Yeah, get a generator, fridge for the white. You're good. You're good. So in this scene, they're like, Max is still bugging everyone about this fuzzy memory, and Carter's like, he was basically born at 27 and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, Carter's 27?
Right. Isn't it so crazy? Like, I guess, like in the 80s? I don't know. Are you saying that you don't buy the actor Matt Frewer as
I totally
age?
Do, 100%.
Because maybe, I don't know. Like, I look at him and I think an older person, but I also saw him when I was a little kid and thought older person.
Yes. And I feel like so there's so much where people are like, oh, can you believe those people back in then were this age and now those people? Like, that was really confusing. I'm sorry.
Wait, just one more thing back to the wine truck, because they never actually go to a wine truck. What happens instead is people have what seems to be pre-made martinis that they're just handing out around the office immediately.
How did I miss all this booze? I did not see any of this booze. I'm so sad about that.
It's like they instantly just materialize with martinis.
That's how every party should be. So, okay.
Sounds like a great office.
Right?
Unfortunately, a lot of DUIs.
I mean, it's part of the job. I worked at a law office that focused on liquor licensing, and we would always get free booze, and it was great.
I worked at an office. Before I started there, they were like, oh my God, you're going to love it. We have Margarita Fridays. And that was like shortly before I started. When I started, they were like, oh yeah, we had to cancel that. Legal came down on us because they didn't want anyone getting into an accident and it being the company's fault.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay, I said always get free booze, but we would get it like at Christmas time. It wasn't always. And also, it was like the worst job I ever had. I hated my boss so much. It was terrible. But I liked to get free booze at winter.
Yeah, it's a nice gift.
Yeah. Okay, so there's a thing, you're like, hey, can you believe these guys from the 80s were in their 20s when this happened? They look so much older. And I think that is mostly style. I think that's like, I don't think it's like they visually, their skin or anything.
Right, hairstyles and everything, clothing styles.
We're used to seeing older people with that, and they are not dressed in a style of young people right now. So we associate that as being older. But that's not even the issue with Carter being 27 to me. It's that he's like this hard-hitting reporter at 27. He's like the star of the network, which happens all the time, I'm sure.
I think you really have to like prove yourself over time.
I can't relate to being successful at 27, I think is what I'm saying.
I mean, there are occasionally young phenoms, but for the most part, like, people come up through the trenches and they pay their dues.
Yeah.
That's my understanding of it from what little I know. And I know so very little.
Yeah, same. Less. All right, so whatever.
Also, like, just while we're talking about how young people look old to us because of their style, maybe there should be like a new thing instituted where, like, as you hit certain milestones of age, you have to like adopt certain new particular styles that speak to your age.
Yes.
So, like, for example, you know that Edwardian ruff that people wore like 500 years ago or whenever Edwardian times were? Yeah, so like
automatically at 40 you have to wear that every day.
Yeah, you hit 40, you're just going to be wearing a giant fucking white crepe collar thing that goes out to your shoulders for the rest of your life.
Well, it changes when you hit 50. It gets bigger.
Oh, actually at 50 you get that dog had a surgery cone.
Right, so you can't see over it.
And no one has to look at your ugly 50-year-old face. And then by the time you're 60, they just throw acid on you.
Yeah, it's like a cleanse.
It's terrible. Okay, so back at the body bank.
That's right. Bruegel and Mahler are being obnoxious.
Yeah, they're sort of like class clowns.
Yeah, they're just gross. I hate it.
I don't feel like they really had like a tight understanding of like
type 5
these characters should be before they started shooting. They're like, okay, these are really bad guys, but they're also very silly.
You know that guy. He's just like weird, right? Just do that. And Dr. Mason is like, you guys need to be discreet. And Bruegel says, discreet meat. What?
That's amazing.
Yeah. And
so, wait, hold on a second. Quick pause. So, like, when I was a teenager, and I was, like, insufferable.
Yeah, it was.
Just way back then, when I'm obviously not anymore.
No,
I went to a movie with my mom and grandmother, and I, like, felt like they were making me seem totally uncool. And I said something about like us being a spectacle, and my grandmother was like, "Oh, spectacle testicle." And that broke the rubber band holding my brain together in such a way that like I was never the same again. Like I started laughing at myself and my grandmother and everything in the world. It was the best.
Oh my God. It was a life-changing moment for you. That was the moment where you stopped being a teenager and started being an adult.
I guess so. Maybe.
Oh, I love that so much. All right. So also they're at the blood bank.
Body bank, where you do body shots. You don't do blood shots.
I'm so sorry. You're right. Girl who doesn't have a name at this point gets wheeled away, and Mahler's like, such a shame about her back. And then Bruegel is like, the loudest sound in the universe is the last heartbeat. And
right.
Then it just goes to the next scene. It's like, what do you guys? What
was that written or improvised?
What are you guys doing? Is this
Totally.
part of your wackiness, or is this you? Are you being introspective? What are you guys doing right now?
Like, I believe that there is some aspect of like, oh, these guys are like pretty good improvisers. Let's see if they can like do something, because like they were probably doing like bits in character off camera, and they were like, oh, let's get this energy. And then instead of it being, or maybe they even repeated it, but it just didn't have the same magic.
Yeah,
it just
they
seems
did like
weird,
10, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It just seems totally weird.
It really does. It's weird. So, guy from the camp tries to call Max. And
no, he tries to call Carter.
Oh yeah, you're right. And
Fiora takes the call, but says she can't take a message.
Yeah, like why would you? Come on.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, Fiora takes the call and says she can take a message.
But no, you can't talk to him. Well, why would you think you could do that? I'm gonna call NBC and I'm gonna be like, let me talk to Lorne Michaels right now.
I can take a message.
No. Okay, here's my message. Fuck you.
Wait, why do you have that to say to Lorne Michaels?
I don't know. Just fuck that guy.
Are you not an SNL fan? Or a fan of the many other shows that he's responsible for? Basically all of which I'm a huge fan of.
I feel I'm pretty ambivalent to most of it at this point in my life.
Okay. Oh, interesting. So you're saying like you've aged out of SNL and the other stuff doesn't appeal.
I don't know if I've aged out of it or if it's changed, but because I can still enjoy the older stuff.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, I mean, I think, it's it's a river that keeps on rolling, right? Like it's always reinvigorated with new writers and performers.
And do I like the old stuff because of nostalgia or because I still think it's quality? Who knows?
Well, also, like, I don't think that show is meant for every single person on there.
Of course not.
To, like, always appeal to any one person. Like, there should be some people where you're like, I don't get them, and I totally get them. And because somewhere on the other side of things is someone who's like, I totally get them, but don't get them.
Sure.
And that made a lot of sense.
It did, and I agree. But also, this is me saying these things having not watched Saturday Night Live in a couple years. So.
It's a funny show. I like it anyway.
I'm glad.
To each their own. Your mileage may vary.
I watched Miley Cyrus last night.
Oh, really? What's she
Dolly
doing?
Parton. Well, she'd had her New Year's Eve show with Dolly Parton.
Oh.
And it was...
That's her godmother.
I know. Dolly Parton... Yep.
Dolly Parton's the greatest.
The fucking best. I love her more than most humans. And...
I think Miley Cyrus is great. I think Billy Ray Cyrus is great.
You love him.
I mean, I don't know a ton about him, but I like what little I know. Mm-hmm. He seems like a good supportive dad also. I don't know.
That's true. Maybe a show dad. Who knows? Anyway, we go back to the body bank, and Lady's on the table, and Dr. Mason is like, let's see if she's got what we needs. That's it. Fiora.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to her car, and she gets grabbed by a guy from the camp.
Yeah, that dude.
Yeah, and
the dude they left behind.
That's right. And he, makes her take him to Carter's house, because Carter's the only one who can solve this, because cops are corrupt, because it's the future is now, and...
No, the future is 20 minutes from now.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, when we get to Carter's house, he's in a bathrobe.
Yeah, he is.
The future is just like the past. I don't know. Do you own and wear a bathrobe?
No, I do not.
Me neither.
I bought one for my husband, and he uses it occasionally, but do people use bathrobes? I don't know.
I don't know. I have in my life owned a bathrobe or two, and ultimately come to the conclusion, this is gross.
Look, if I'm getting out of the shower, I will get dressed.
Right. Why don't I just towel off, and then that thing can go into the laundry? The bathrobe, I feel like, is just this moldering, disgusting thing.
Moldering.
Right?
A moldering pirate.
We're the moldering pirates. No, I feel like a bathrobe is like if you took your kitchen sponge and made it into a floor-length gown and put it on. That's what I think it is.
That's the most disgusting thing I've ever heard in my fucking life. Jesus Christ.
There's nothing more disgusting in your home than your kitchen sponge.
Oh, God. Lick it if you don't agree.
You should basically bleach it and microwave it every single time.
Okay, here's the thing. I will not have a sponge in my house. I have a brush because I will not touch the sponge, but I will touch a brush handle. And I have a dishwasher, so I don't give a fuck.
Sure, but your dishwasher can't do everything, so you need that brush. Mm-hmm. I have an array of scrubby things.
I will not touch a sponge. No.
So the old riddle, is he sponge worthy? It's now about a casserole dish.
Gross. So now it's like a mildewy sponge and wet old food. I'm gonna throw up so fucking hard right now. Anyway. So yeah, we go to Edison's and
Edison Carter.
And she's like, well, you gotta let me go so I can put the pin code thing in the door because it's the future and the door works on a code and not a key. And he's like, oh, yeah, totally. So he lets her go, and she pushes him back to death.
Right, she throws him to the ground perfectly.
Uh-huh. And Carter comes out, and he's like, whoa, what's going on? And, she's like, I'm fine. And he's like, well, he's not, or whatever. He got pushed to fucking death, Josh. He got pushed so hard.
Well, he's going to be okay, though.
Yeah, I know. But, the exaggeration on this push was... Come on, you guys. Anyway, so... Surgery at the body bank. Dr. Mason is... I don't know what he's doing.
He can't be rushed.
No. Do you want it done right, or do you want it done now?
Right. Exactly. So it's not the right time to... I think his plan is to, take out the old lady's brain and put it in the young woman's body.
Well, they kept talking about the pituitary gland, too. And why didn't they just yank that out and put it on ice or something? I don't know what's going on. I'm confused.
I don't know. Well, we don't have full explanation for the science behind the theoretical surgery that might or might not happen.
Bullshit.
And you wouldn't understand it anyway because you haven't been to theoretical medical school, so sit down.
Listen,
sit down.
I didn't theoretically go to medical school for 8 years for you not to call me a theoretical doctor. I don't even know what I just said, so fuck you.
Yeah, so big time. So Dr. Mason can't be rushed. We get back, we see what's going on at Carter's. The dude has an unloaded syringe.
Yeah, he called it unloaded, which was weird.
I don't know what that means. Cops wouldn't listen. Right. Can't afford to buy law, which is just like an understood fact of 20 minutes into the future, as it is today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They came to the city. Why? To sell blood. She has a rare blood type.
At the body bank? Is that where they were selling it?
I guess so. Or the blood bank. Maybe. Or possibly at Snack Shack.
Or the wine truck.
The wine truck. That I'll have a blood spritzer.
That's right.
Typo negative, please.
Mel, who we find his name is Mel. He says there's been a story going around the river.
Around the fringe.
Yes.
The fringes.
Girls are getting stolen.
People are disappearing.
Yeah.
And now we find out that lady who got taken, her name is Raina, and she is one of the people who's now been disappeared.
Yes. Now we go to Bryce.
Young Bryce, trying to work with Max.
Yeah, what's going on? Give me another reaction, Max. And he's trying, but boy, he's just a computer thing.
Right, he's a wisecracking computer. Jack me off.
God. Theora calls him and she's like, yo, I need clearance and links to the personality templates on the Diogenes program.
Enhance.
Yeah, exactly. And for some reason, I felt like I needed to write that down, the actual program numbers. All right, so...
Enhance!
Wait, did I skip something? No, I didn't.
They print faces for the thugs.
Bruegel
and Mahler. They have...
Before they print... I have to talk about this program where they came up with these faces, where she's just like, okay, I need you to give me a description of this one guy. And he's like...
White guy with a face.
He's like, his age is between 25 and 30. His hair is in bunches. And he has a sharp chin. And then the computer comes up with an exact picture of him. And then the second guy... She just types without asking him any questions, and he doesn't describe him at all, and it's an exact picture of the guy.
It's 20 minutes into the future. That's how it works.
Yay! All right. So, yeah, so they print up these photos, and they're going to go ask some people who they are.
So, Carter and Mel are out on the search. And we got a real wisecrack out of Carter. It's like trying to find a microchip in a mainframe.
Oh my God, that's crazy. You know, right? If it were 20 minutes into the future, that would be the funniest joke you ever heard.
Meanwhile, Theora, the greatest controller who's ever lived, she finds the route of the van that they took.
Yeah,
And it turns out that Carter and Mel are standing on the porch of Rick's van. Okay. Rick from the last episode, a.k.a. Proto-Morpheus.
And their friendship was weird to me in this episode. Because the last episode, they seemed like old chums. And in this episode, Carter seemed like, I don't really know who you are, sir, but you've got this crazy weird ride that we can take. It's really weird, though.
I think that they might have decided
They were getting too close.
They wrote and shot these things, and then they were like, okay, so the one that we thought was later in the season is episode 2 now, and this guy already knows Rick.
Yeah, I mean, I assumed that's what it was, but you guys.
Yeah. Get to work!
You guys.
Somebody shoehorn it in.
Okay, so what else?
Meanwhile, Bryce still can't get Max to cooperate in any way, shape, or form.
And the only one who can do it is Carter, because, I mean, it is Carter. So
yeah, because they're like, they're bros. They're computer and non-computer bros. They're clone-ish types.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
By the way, Rick's like crazy rickshaw.
No longer.
In this episode is just a foot rickshaw.
Yeah, no longer is there a motorcycle, which made it super cool. Now it's just like
he's
weird
on foot
slave
carrying
labor.
them. Yeah. Yes.
It is gross.
Yeah, we don't have a horse, so you're the horse.
Yeah, and also it. Why? Just walk next to each other.
Wouldn't that be way easier?
Oh, what are you guys doing? Come on.
Anyway, Carter's got to hide his camera. And then it's immediately stolen, and like, why didn't you just hang on to it, dickhead?
They literally chain it up with a chain.
The only thing that you're doing by chaining something to something else is saying this is valuable.
And they come back to find it gone, and his exclamation, Carter's like, "Ah, my favorite blanket!"
Right, because they'd hidden it under the blanket, and the blanket's also gone.
Yeah, poor guy.
He's you know what? He's an easygoing quipper.
But he's also letting us know that the losing a vidicam is what he calls it. Losing a vidicam is a hanging offense at Channel 23. So he's very nervous, and he needs to get that camera back.
Yeah, he's going to be in deep trouble with the equipment room, the equipment closet at Network 23. I assume that it's like a college where you check out
he needs
equipment.
his shit. Yeah. And then Rick is like, "Oh, well then hang loose." Rick, you scamp.
Right?
Ugh.
Meanwhile, back at wherever that is with the rich guys, they're like, okay, we've got to keep my mother. It's his mother that we're trying to keep alive.
Yeah.
Until this Max Headroom thing, like the process can upload her mind.
Yeah, and if that doesn't happen, they're going to report all the Channel 23 shit that they have in their back pocket or whatever.
Right, they're going to do some bad shit to Ben Cheviot.
That's right.
Cheviot. Is that the way you say it?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we see who was it that took the video camera. It was Paula, and she makes a trade with Reg.
That was... Wait. From the last episode, Paula?
Wait,
who's Paula?
have we seen Paula previously?
Who's Paula?
I don't know. She's the one that stole the camera, and she's trading it to Reg. She trades it for a couple of VHSs. And he's like, hey, do you want this? And
what the fuck is that?
Right, he's holding out a book and explains that it's a pre-digital storage facility for data.
Yeah.
Or whatever. How do you say it?
He called it, what did he call it? Oh, I didn't write it down, but it was like non-compromisable or something like that.
Anyway, she was like, nah, fuck that, dude.
Yeah, why would I want that? That's stupid.
I'll take your old VHSs of, Star Wars and Grease taped off of ABC in the late 70s.
Uh-huh, with the commercials still on it.
Yeah, I want to see the commercials for Datsuns and a toaster oven.
Thank you, punk rock Gordon Ramsay. I'm out. And he's at his van. Let's see.
Yeah, he works with Dominique.
TV. I love these two so much, and I'm glad that there's a possibility of seeing them in the future.
20 minutes into the future.
That's right.
Meanwhile, Max will not speak to anyone until he speaks to Carter first.
But Cheviot needs to talk to him. He needs Max for Zigzag.
And it turns out that Thornby is a woman on the board at Network 23. She has been pressured to get the Max Headroom process, for those rich people.
Is it Thornby or Fromby?
Oh, I wrote it down as Thornby, but that doesn't make it true.
Yep. So, and then they actually get Max to do, a show-long commercial for Zigzag. And it's going real well, but then he starts going off the rails because he's Max Headroom. You can't contain him.
He's totally unpredictable. The ratings spike.
Uh-huh.
And then he goes off on Zigzag burgers. And they're like, oh my God, dump the feed, dump Max. And they're like, if you kill the power, you lose the whole network. That's how tied in Max Headroom is to everything.
Yeah. Bryce is like, it's completely impossible to shut Max down.
The only way to pull him off is to destroy everything, burn it down.
It's the only way, except for this other way that I will now do.
Yeah, which is to erase Max except on a local drive.
Yeah, so just do that. Why say it's impossible? Just
why did you give us all that fire and brimstone?
Come on, dude. He's like, I don't want to do this, so I'm going to say it's impossible. So, Body Bank, Rick.
Rick takes Carter and Mel to go see Reg.
Yeah, and he
Reg is like, oh, yeah, here's your camera, no big deal. What do I owe you, man? Be nice to animals.
Animals don't even exist now. It's 20 minutes in the future, dude.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I fucked up.
Yeah, he said that to Rick.
Yeah, so...
Yeah.
Rick takes him to Reg's. Carter asks, what do I owe you? And Rick says, be nice to animals.
I love Rick. I mean, he's great. Reg, they're just about to go see Reg. Reg and Dominique, they're in the Big Time TV van.
Right, Big Time Television. No future. This is it.
And I assume that there's videos or something, some kind of video show, and he's a VJ, or that's just part of the many things that they do. But the video they were watching, so exciting.
Wait, what were they watching?
They were watching the music video for Walk Like a Man, done by Divine.
No way, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was super great.
Shit. I didn't pick up on that, and that's wonderful.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, oh fuck, that's totally Divine. I gotta figure out what this is. All right.
Yeah, so just to be clear, Reg and Dominique basically operate what in 20 minutes into the future looks like a pirate video radio broadcasting station. By the way, here in the real time that you and I live in, broadcast television no longer exists. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah. So,
'cause, I mean, nobody watches it. So.
Right, but I mean, like,
it's not physically
it's
broadcast.
literally not beamed out the way it once was. Yeah.
It's like 10 minutes into the future right now. Wait, do I made that joke? I'm sorry.
We're 2 minutes to midnight.
Anyway. Okay. Dominique, they come in, they ring the doorbell of the truck, and Reg lets them in, and Dominique is dusting her typewriter with a feather duster.
Mm-hmm. As one does.
I love the inside of this van. I love so much. It's like that whole...
By the way, I just want to, like, the fact that she has a typewriter and a book is unrecognizable to someone. Why is anyone Why would a typewriter be necessary or useful for anything?
It absolutely could not be. Nobody's writing letters. Nobody.
No.
What? No. But their van I love so much. It's that 80s Pee-wee's Playhouse aesthetic that's like kind of like, it's very like kitschy and fun, but also very cool. I love
Totally.
it. Love
me to
love
the
it.
max 80s.
That's right.
Except it's 20 minutes into the future.
Carter hands Reg the photos. He's like, yo, who are these guys? And he's like, I got you, fam. And
Big time. Big time. He's like, that's Bruegel and Mahler. Those guys suck.
so Carter's like, Theora, I'm back, because she's been calling him on the camera and obviously hasn't been able to get a hold of him. And she's like, cool, Cheviot wants to talk to you right now. And he's like, ugh, I hate that guy. And he's like, hey, you need to get back to the studio and take care of Max right now or you're fired. And Carter's like, okay, but
A girl's life is in danger.
What?
So eat it.
yeah, eat like 5 dicks because I'm going to save somebody. And
Cheviot is like, it's not a request. And then... No, go ahead.
there, in this shot/scene, there was so much going on that wasn't like verbalized. Like Carter's talking on the phone, Reg is like mouthing and pointing to shit to Mel, and then Dominique is pouring wine in 2 wine glasses, and I just want to know everything that's going on. It's fun. I like it.
Well, so then they go on the hunt together, and it's basically a super duper cantina scene.
I love it so much.
So like there's belly dancing, there's clown makeup. We see Bruegel and Mahler sitting
I'm sorry,
at the bar.
you're not going to talk about the giant pig? Okay, that's fine.
Refresh my memory. There's a lot going on. There's like a lot going on.
Yeah, it's like cantina crowd, but there's a stage with a belly dancer, a punk that's just standing there, and a giant pig. That's it.
You know, this show was made in a post Buckaroo Banzai, post Brazil world. And sometimes things really work, and sometimes it's like, well, I don't know. They just threw a bunch of things onto the screen at the same time.
Bro, it all works. I got no problem with the giant pig in the club. I love it. This pig was giant. I love it so much. I want to give it a hug. I want to pet it a lot. Give it a little kiss on the cheek.
Oh.
I love it.
Wait, did you grow up on a farm with pigs?
No.
Okay. Well,
My dad did, though.
Yeah, and didn't you grow up in farm country?
Look, I grew up in the Midwest. That does not mean I grew up in farm country. No, I did not.
Are you from Nebraska?
Oh my God. I grew up in Omaha, Nebraska, which is...
Omaha is a big city.
It's a city. I don't know about big, but yeah.
Okay. Your life was built around skate parks, not pig
That's
farms.
Right. That's correct.
Anyway, back to the cantina where Carter and Reg see Bruegel and Mahler. They're like not even paying attention to the giant pig.
It's the pig club. Why would you?
Yeah, they discuss there's no law on the fringes. Justice is cash flow.
That's correct. They go to talk to Bruegel and Mahler.
It's like they're going to attack them, but it turns out their business is business.
They just want to talk, guy. During this cartoonish fight scene, we see George R. Martin look on. And it made me realize that it was very much the Scottish countryside was very much a look for dudes in the 80s.
Oh, interesting, because this is also just post Highlander, which is also fringy cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you've got Kurgan's character in modern times is totally cyberpunk.
Mm-hmm. He's got safety pins and stuff.
Yeah, so like just, you know, Scottish Highlands, kilt aesthetic. It all fits somehow.
Yeah, it's
it's postmodern.
Yeah.
One thing refers to another. Eventually, it's a simulacrum. You've lost the original. You don't even know what the fuck you're talking about anymore.
Exactly. So my theory is that George R.R. Martin has had this look since the 80s, and it's just been his thing forever. And I get it, and I see you.
I think that's true. I mean, he was like, he was writing TV back then, right?
I don't know.
Work on Beauty and
I
the
have no
Beast
idea. I'm just
like
saying. I love that he has always had that look, and even if he hasn't, he has in my head. Anyway,
well, it's possible that far into the future is George R.R.R. Martin.
Oh shit, Josh.
Yeah, I mean it's possible.
Yeah, no, it's definitely for real. That was George R.R.R. Martin. Oh, is he a pirate? Okay, so we get to Rich Guy's place, and right.
And we've got Thornby.
No.
Thornby, a.k.a. Fronby.
Yeah, we're at Brace's office, and she's like, where is the regeneration program software junk?
And he's like, it's in the system. And then Max says he'll turn himself off. And then he opens the monthly salaries? That's weird.
But he also follows because Thornby Fromby grabs Bryce and's like, you're coming with me, kid, and drags him somewhere, and Max follows
There's like
them.
no child labor laws at this time.
No, not.
Also, like every person at the very top of the pyramid of this corporate ladder is just like the person who directly grabs the teenage boy that's their only brain trust.
Yeah. He watches them and follows them go into the Sybaris condo.
Is that I didn't notice? Like Cerberus?
It's Sybaris.
How's it spelled?
SYBARIS.
Oh, it's okay, cool.
I took note only because I know it's not something you would know about, but out here we got the Sybaris Pool Suites, where you can have a romantic evening with your loved one for I don't know how much money, with a pool and a hot tub and a fireplace all in one room.
What? You've got a pool in your hotel room?
Yeah, it's disgusting.
How big a hotel?
It's like little cottages. Each room is a little cottage.
Okay.
And each room, like some of them are multi-leveled. There's a pool. Some of them have saunas. Some of them have hot tubs. Fireplace.
And so
giant bed.
This is a romantic getaway type thing.
I mean, I guess.
Okay, so in Japan they have love hotels, which are not just that, but like many different themes that could include, like it could be small or large. It could have a full-sized Olympic pool.
Nice.
As part of your thing, or it could just be like a tiny little like shotgun room that's like made to look like the inside of an aquarium, or anything like that. But then also you have like don't they have like hot tub places all over?
Sure.
Like, is this like a hot tub place but combined with a hotel?
I think it's much more than a hot tub place, because you get a whole goddamn pool with waterfalls and shit.
With waterfalls?
Yeah, I forgot about the waterfalls. There's waterfalls.
Okay. This just sounds completely fucking bananas.
Yo, go YouTube a commercial, because it is romantic AF.
Have you ever been?
No, it's like...
Because it's hepatitis Z.
Oh,
Yeah.
But also it's very expensive, and I am cheap.
Right, but it's also like what you're paying for is to be inside a petri dish.
Yes, there's not enough bleach on Earth.
Right. Like, is there like, could we throw a whole bunch of kitchen sponges into the hot tub? Because it's not going to be any worse than it already is.
You know what? Forget the dishwasher.
Ugh.
Just put all the dirty dishes in the hot tub and we'll take a hot tub there.
You know what? I'm trying to save water when I shower and wash dishes, so I'm combining the two.
You know what?
And I'm drying them with a bathrobe.
And then I'm going to put that on.
Just the idea of this is making me sick.
When on our wedding night, Andy and I stayed in a hotel called the Pink Palace.
Oh.
And it's very close to the Midway Airport in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a space room where you sleep in like one of those things that falls to earth, but it's got a circular bed inside. You know what I mean? When the
like the capsule?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And the whole the whole room is painted like space and the moon, and the rest of the rooms go downhill from there. There's just like brass and roses, and you know, like every room has a hot tub, and every room has a water bed, and every room has a mirror above the bed, and the headboard has a car radio in it. Yeah, it's great.
That's great.
Yeah, it's super great. But my favorite room is Let's Do Lunch, is because they all have a title.
Uh-huh.
And the bed is shaped and styled to look like a giant sandwich on white bread. And then there's 2 poles that look like ketchup and mustard. That's it. Let's do lunch.
So is the Pink Palace still operating?
Mm-hmm.
And is this like a thing that was built in the 50s or 60s and it's like just been that way ever since?
It's got to. I imagine so. There's another one, like a fancier one, I think, that might have closed down. There's another fancy one in Wisconsin that has a 2-level hot air balloon room.
What? What do you mean a hot air balloon
like
room?
You sleep in the basket and then you go down some stairs and the rest of the room is like the ground. It's really neat.
That's pretty awesome. So wait, is that like Wisconsin Dells?
No, it's outside of the Dells. It's like a couple hours outside the Dells, I think. I don't remember what it's called though. But man, I love that kind of shit.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, like, once you say hot tub, even though I'm thinking awesome, I'm also thinking gross, but I'm still thinking awesome.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And when I say hot tub at the Pink Palace, I mean like a large jacuzzi tub. I don't mean like 4-person deep set. It's just a tub.
Right. And it doesn't come pre-filled with chlorinated water.
No.
Right? Like you have to draw your own bath. It's not like someone has come by to change the chlorine periodically or whatever.
It doesn't come pre-filled with viscous water. No.
Oh man, the Pink Palace as a name.
I know, it's so great.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
Okay, so anyway, back to the show. Carter wants to become a corpse and to be delivered to the body bank that they took the girl to. Mm-hmm. And Bruegel and Mahler are like, yeah, just give us money and we'll bring you to Dr. Mason. No sweat.
Okay. Mm-hmm. They're having this discussion at the Pig Club. A couple things about this conversation. Mm-hmm. He says he wants to be a corpse. They say, not a problem for the right person. He says, I want you to deliver me somewhere specific. They say, eternity? He says, you took a girl to the body bank today. And I was like, holy shit, this has all happened in one fucking day? And then...
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to track, it's like the first 48, right? Like,
that's right.
You only have so long.
Yeah. And so he puts money on the table. Bruegel. God damn it. Bruegel picks up the money.
You're familiar with the paintings of
I am
Bruegel.
not.
No, you are. No, you are. So, those, like, medieval paintings of what hell might look like? You've seen them. Those are are you
talking about like the rings, the Dante rings, or are you talking about
maybe, but like there's like so or wait, am I confusing? So Bruegel was like he's Dutch or Flemish? That's Flemish.
But wait, real quick. When he picks up, real quick. When he picks up the money off the table, this pig club, they put tablecloths on all their tables. I call bullshit.
So wait, was it like a red and white check?
No, it was like a gauzy linen, like it was white. First off, no club is going to have a white tablecloth that has a pig in it. That's disgusting. You're going to see all this.
You don't know what it's like in the Fringe 20 minutes into the future.
All right. Yeah, that's fair. I don't.
Let me take you a few places. I'll show you the world.
All right.
I'll show you a pig.
So they deliver Carter to the body bank, and they're like, hey, Dr. Mason, we have a delivery for you. And he's like, what? Cool. And then Carter jumps up and attacks him. And the other doctor, who I nicknamed Dr. Dracula, because he said something earlier where he sounded like he was Transylvanian, but he was not. So Dr. Dracula grabs the syringe off a table and goes to Carter and Dr. Mason, and he shoots up Dr. Mason with something, and he passes out, and they're like, what's going on? What are you doing, Dr. Dracula? And he's like, crunch, and he like ate cyanide pill in his mouth, or tooth,
right, and fucking Bruegel and Mahler, one of them says, physician, heal thyself.
And then Mahler says, it's like Christmas. What?
I guess they just love death. I think they love death very much. Or chaos. It's unclear what it is they love, but
they love
but they're getting a lot of it. So the rich guy's watching his mother on life support.
They're prepping her for surgery. They've got Raina. They're ready to go. Let's do this. They just need that fucking program.
Cheviot calls Carter, tells him to talk to Max Headroom or you're fired. You want me to choose between a girl's life and my job? Says Carter to Cheviot.
You know the answer already.
Cheviot, you need us. You can't do any good without our help. That's what Cheviot tells Carter. He's like, listen, if you're not on the network, like, what are you ever going to do?
You can't help shit without me.
Maybe you can go over to Big Time Television. Yeah, that's the only other game in town. There are 2 games in town. There's Network 23 and Big Time Television.
Bam, bam, bam. That's right. Max is not on his file. And
Fiora can't find him. And Bryce is gone.
But
and it turns out we learn Thornby, aka Fromby, the corporate lady, she's been doing all of this to save Cheviot.
We found that out here?
I think so.
But also...
We expand on it again later.
Yeah, but
we get a dose of it.
Yeah, because Rich Guy is doing the evil thing, the evil guy plan thing, where he's like, oh, you've cornered me, so let me tell you my entire plan right before I do it, and everything is broken. And he tells everybody his plan. He's going to put his mom's subconscious... I wasn't listening. I don't care. So they need Bryce to do the max headroom tech on his mom.
And Bryce is like, you can't kill that girl.
That girl's alive.
Yeah. And then it turns out Max was hiding in the monthly salaries.
What, Max? You're crazy.
Yeah. So Bryce tries to regenerate the old woman using Brycean techniques.
Is that what he was doing? I was confused.
And Carter asks Max for help to save the girl.
Okay, I'll help you, Carter, but first you have to tell me what drinking is.
He's like, there's a fuzzy hole in my memory. And then Carter's like, that was my graduation day. Drinking, it wrecks you. And then Max is like, how many times did you graduate?
Don't. Bryce is doing some computer junk at the rich guy's house.
He's trying to signal Carter.
Yeah, like they're watching him like, you better not do stuff. And it's like, he is doing stuff. You're dumb old people. You wouldn't know.
Right.
And then Max says, or somebody says, they're in the Santui condo. So it's not even at the Sybaris condo, it's at the Santui condo. I don't know what any of that means.
Check the Pink Palace. See if they're in the hot tub. I don't know. Maybe they're on the water slide.
Yeah, there's water slides at the Sybaris too.
Wait, you can have a water slide inside your hotel room?
Yeah, not like a crazy one, but like one of those little ones that go into the pool. Like from the bedroom area to the pool.
I know a guy who had a slide inside his home.
You know what? You've posted pictures of that before, haven't you?
Yeah, probably.
I think I've seen those.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. I mean, he doesn't live there anymore. Like, I'm sure that whoever bought the place made different and more useful use of that space.
That's too bad.
Honestly, it was so cool because it was like, there is a slide inside this home, but also it was a really fast slide that delivered you immediately into the kitchen. And if you like didn't have your wits about you, you'd go like flying into it.
That's great.
Yeah.
Everyone should have slides and goofy shit in their house.
Yeah, totally.
So
Theora cracks the door code. Carter dashes off. Max appears to Bryce and Thornby. Carter is getting close by helicopter.
Yeah, why are you in a helicopter, bro? Like, they're in the same building, aren't they?
I think, apparently not. I don't know.
Because she just dragged him.
Maybe this is Mega City 2, and you have to get from, like the floors are so, like, the elevators are so slow because it's 10 billion stories or whatever.
Right.
A helicopter is the only way to go.
That makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
So he and Mel storm in at the critical moment and save the girl.
So many fights and electrical fires, the blink of an eye.
They are able to stop the surgery, and Carter tells Max to go live. Organ harvesting. Live spare parts for the rich from the fringe.
Whoa.
Yeah. Big time.
Yeah. So he got the story, and it's awesome. And now we're going to cut to the boardroom where Fromby and...
A.K.A. Thornby.
Cheviot are talking, and she's like, bro, I couldn't even help it because they were going to blackmail me.
Yeah, she keeps calling him homeboy.
It's 20 minutes in the future. And he's like, no, whatever. You did bad things. And she's like,
No, no. She was like, hey, they were blackmailing me, but I was doing this to save you because of our affair and trying to like make sure that you don't get in trouble. And he's like, yes, well, that's all over now.
Yeah. She's like, oh, but yeah, it all finished up and it all is over nicely. And he's like, no, we're over. And
thanks
whatever.
A lot, pal.
Yeah. And that was pretty much the end of the episode. Total, like, what? How,
yeah. The
what?
very end of the episode is like an ad for what's coming up this season.
Which
but
I loved.
it feels like we're missing a scene.
Yeah. I needed to see Max Headroom in the Fringe telling everyone about what's bad about what the body bank was doing or whatever Max Headroom does in the Fringe on the TVs.
You know, right. Well, it seems like we needed a little bit more on the organ harvesting than just like the report. We needed a like, and so this is what happened. And then Max says something racist on a TV screen.
That's what I was waiting for.
I know. Give the people what they want.
Where's the misogyny?
Crazy. But, you know, whatever. I don't know if it originally aired that way and we lost something or not, but that's what we've got available to us at this time.
I did see on IMDb that the one thing that was censored out that you got if you bought the VHS, I guess, was when Carter finds that his camera had been stolen, he says, "Oh shit."
Oh.
Yeah. Fun. That they
Wait,
even
where did
put
you
that
see
in there.
that?
It was in the IMDb fun facts.
Oh. That's interesting.
Right.
So wait, they couldn't have said "oh shit" on TV back in the 80s.
No, not at all. So that was just a little extra for them. One of those many improvised takes they did, I guess.
Maybe. Well, I mean, that's theoretical. I don't know if they were improvising at all. It's just like I'm spitballing here.
I'm sure he didn't go back into ADR and be like, "Oh shit."
Oh, what's a British way of saying that? Oh, sausages.
Oh, crikey.
Bloody hell.
Beans and Franks.
How are beans part of a full English breakfast? Why is that? I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not saying they're not part of a full English breakfast. It's like you look at a lot of things on that plate and you're like, so there's a grilled tomato. There's a mushroom.
Okay.
There's a half a tin of beans, some eggs, some sausage. Do we have bacon? Maybe. What else is on there?
Sausage that looks like black bread because it's all bloody.
Like blood sausage?
Yeah, that's the one. You guys are disgusting.
But 20 minutes into the future, none of that exists. It's just organ harvesting. You can eat the poor.
Yeah, and we do.
So that is the episode, guys. So fucking hell. Tune in. We're gonna be back with more Max Headroom, so don't you worry.
Oh, you know what?
That it took us twice the time to watch the episode as it did for us to talk about the episode.
Not necessarily.
And whatever other nonsense we just talked about.
Yeah, but it's fun, you guys. And also, we in the coming up this season, we get to see more of Reg and Dominique and Rick, all of our favorites. They'll be back. So I'm stoked for this upcoming season that we're almost halfway through with.
Be nice to animals. Don't forget about books. Big time television. No future. This is it.
We're moldering sponges. We'll see you next time. Josh, play that music.